Welcome into another episode of the Power Hour. I am Steve, along with the urban sensation and icon C Red. And joining us tonight is not only my broadcast colleague, but one of the most controversial people in professional wrestling right now. The man has over 700 days as champion.
Whoa. Just like we do on commentary, I need to go ahead and correct you once again. I am not just a champion. Oh, I have a bad neck. So I am the IPW Chicagoland champion, and I have been champion for 905 days. 905 days as your Chicagoland champion, the ruler of them all. How about that right there?
That
905 days. So now you got to get things right, Steve.
I will. 905 days as champion. You've seen him as my broadcast colleague at Chicagoland Championship Wrestling. You've seen him wrestle all over, most currently at POW. And one of the great interviews of professional wrestling right now is the villain, Joey Roth. Joey, thanks for taking some time tonight. I know you're playing hurt, so we'll try to take it easy on you.
It's okay. You're welcome.
Hold on. How you gonna say the man playing hurt? He is hurt.
Well, no, I'm saying he's doing the interview hurt. Like when you're an athlete, you're playing hurt, not pretending to be hurt. He's playing hurt. Like Brady in some of those games, man, when he's got a bad knee, but he goes out there and still drops 5 touchdowns.
But then again, there's a difference between all that. My balls don't deflate.
Hey, Joey, get off the goat.
Get off the goat.
Get off the goat.
Don't bash the goat while the
get off the goat. I'm not on Steve's girlfriend.
Oh, that's not fair.
Oh, okay. Come on, Steve. Just keep it going.
All right. So we've had Joey on the show a few times in groups. We had him with John Bullard and Michael Allen. We've had him on numerous times, but tonight is the first time we're really going to explore the myth and legend behind the villain. Joey, you've been doing this for quite a while, almost as long as C Red, if I'm not mistaken. You're pushing like 16 or 17 years at least, right?
Yeah, in February, it'll be 17 years.
Right. So you and Red have been doing this quite a long time, much longer than me. And to stay relevant and thrive in this business as long as you two have is a testament to what you do. Tell us, I know how C Red got started. I've heard the story a few times, and it's powerful every time he tells it. How did you get into this business? What's your Windy City Pro moment?
Well, you want to know? It had nothing to do with Windy City. It had to do with the longest reigning intercontinental champion of all time, the Honky Tonk Man. Yes, the Honky Tonk Man is the man who actually got me into professional wrestling.
I always felt you were cool, cocky, and bad.
Bad. 16, 17 years ago, message boards were a new thing. So the Honky Tonk Man had a website, and I was on his message board and all that. And he's, you could ask questions and everything. And I'm like, okay, so how does one nowadays, without going to New York or anything like that, get into this business? He directed me to a friend of his in Hammond, Indiana, who knows another guy named Chi-Town T. So,
which is from?
Exactly. Just don't wear spandex when you go through a flaming table. So Honky directed me to Chi-Town, which is where I started getting all my training. I was trained by Milo Cash. I was trained by Chi-Town T. I was trained by Three Stooges. I was trained by a whole bunch of different people in the organization, but mostly Milo Cash and Tori. I don't remember.
TL Money.
TL Money, exactly. Tori trained me as well, and along with Ivan. So with those three guys, that's who broke me into this business, who had me running those ropes every single all the time. 3 minutes in hell. See how long you can last. Get the black and blue mark up and down your butt and everything like that. So Honky Tonk Man's the reason why I'm here. So if you have anybody to blame him.
And you
Which by the way, I have surpassed Honky Tonk Man because he was champion for what 80 for not a year, just about a year or something like that.
Not
84 weeks or whatever.
905 days.
Not 905 days. So Honky, I think right now you're taking a back step to me. So now what I need you to do is go ahead and just go away. I am now the greatest champion of all time.
It's a bold statement right there. And I find it pretty interesting how you and C Red kind of walk similar paths. You both are in-ring performers and good ones. You both are managers of elite caliber, and you both are second to none on the microphone. Talk about your experiences with my partner, because I know you guys know each other all too well.
Me and C Red in the early days when I first started, we never really shared a locker room. I mean, it took until we got to IPW the past few years for me and C Red to actually work a show together. Now
we worked when you were starting off, or you had already been in, I should say, for a while. We did a couple of shows with Ivan. I mean, Chi-Town.
Okay.
But it was few and far in between. Like
I remember Willie the Bomb Richardson, one of the best ever, was in the locker room. So I got to see him. So I have to go ahead in the way back machine in my brain and remember all that. But yeah, so good. I mean, but I would say the last 4 or 5 years.
Yeah, I mean, 4 or 5 years, we've really shared a locker room together.
Right. We share locker room. We've shared conversations. We've shared talks and all that stuff. So when you put me in the same category as C-Red, you're pretty damn right.
You both are elite talent and some of the best I've ever worked with. There's no doubt about that.
So then what do I have you for? I mean, we could just go ahead and just get you out of the picture, and this could be the C-Red Roth show.
I get that a lot. So yes, I can appreciate that. Joey Roth, do you remember when we met for the first time? I'm just curious if you remember it.
Where we met for the very first time. Look at you putting me on the spot like that. Yes, I did. It was in that quaint little bar in Vermont.
No,
I had
that
white wine.
Bridges tour.
I had the white wine, and you had a spritzer. And then you
I enjoy a fine spritzer every now and again. This is absolutely true. No, we met at the morning after Christmas party.
Yes, that is true.
At the pizza place.
You
were there.
I was there. You were there. We were all there.
I know I was there. You were there.
I was.
That is.
They brought
he
it
was there.
Again. I was there. I know.
Joey, he was there.
I guess he was there. I don't remember him being there, but I guess. Were you cooking the pizzas? Were you cleaning the game room?
No, I was enjoying. The fine hospitality of Max and Rion. The ARC was there. Joey Roth and the Villainous were there.
It was a few more from CWA. That was a fun night. I must admit, I did enjoy I didn't know what to expect. I thought we were going one place, then plans changed, and we wound up going somewhere else. Mm-hmm. And I was like, as long as the pizza isn't cardboard, I'll be okay.
Yeah, unfortunately, 2 out of 3 aren't bad. Actually, I think calling that pizza cardboard is an insult to cardboard. The cardboard gods are going to be calling, going, "Hey, that pizza, eat a piece of cardboard. It's much better than that pizza you're going to have."
The company was way better than the food, but that was the night Max Holiday was pitching the owner to get a sponsorship. Do you remember that? He was like, he had a conversation for about 45 minutes after it was over with the owner.
The owner took pictures with everybody. I remember it was pictures of everybody's were leaving. I was wearing my flashy new white jacket and all that stuff, and he just wanted to take pictures and he just wanted to be part of everything. So we got to get Max Holiday over here and go, "Hey, Mr. Movie Star, how come we don't have any CC Pizza sponsorships going on out there?"
It was a fun night for sure. And
It was a fun
it
night.
was then I got my first taste of who the villain was. I had known of you, but I had never met you, and I found you to be very, very fun to talk to. Roxy as well.
That's because we're groovy people.
Groovy, indeed. So then I met you again, and I got to work with you guys again at IPW, which was a real honor. It was the show. It was after a huge snowstorm, and it was incredibly cold. And both of you had major roles on the show that we were at. Do you remember the show that I'm speaking of?
I have no recollection of it whatsoever. So go ahead and fill me in.
This was a show where you had a title match against a very large figure in this industry. And this was the match. This was the show where the ARC C Red was in the ring, and he was in incredible physical condition.
Yeah.
Around the ring like he was 25 years old again.
Oh, I remember.
Now you got the subcockles of my brain region going ahead.
Well, I'm glad that my involvement in your existence is so profound that you remember everything.
Where we had to park on one side of the highway and pray to God you could run across the other side. I felt like Frogger, like
it was solid ice and it was freezing.
It was January, and wasn't that Streamwood?
Yeah, Streamwood. Yep. It was.
The Streamwood Park District. Yeah, I remember that night awfully well. And I remember that match awfully well too, because that's the chat, right? Yeah. So that was actually that was the very first IPW show. That's right. I met you, Ed, and I remember you sitting there just following me everywhere I went, especially to the bathroom all 6 times. And then, it was just I just decided to go ahead and talk to you. All right. So you were sitting there with your little autograph book, and you wanted to be just like me, and I humored you, and I'm glad I actually decided to talk to someone like you. It's all good.
I actually
who walked out with the belt. I did.
I participated briefly in that show.
I remember you participated.
I delivered a very nasty headbutt and a couple of splashes that were a little ill-conceived, but still fun to do.
Oh, and I'm sure it's on video somewhere.
It's on video somewhere. But anyway, it was great to work with you both. And then I got to work, then C Red and I had this show together. So I got to continue to work with him. And now with Chicagoland Championship Wrestling, I get to sit and talk to you for 3 hours every time we do a show. And that's pretty good fun.
And what god awful contest did I come in last place in to have that as my prize? You have yours. See, it's good for you, because the contest that you won the grand prize. The contest that I won the booby prize. You like boobies, but
C-Red likes that.
I love it.
Yeah.
Wow, this is going well. C-Red, why don't you throw questions up at Joey Roth's way, since I'm doing so well here?
Oh, no.
You're batting 100 there, Steve.
Oh, of course. I guess, again, it's remarkable. And I guess, again, like Joey said, when you do this for so long, it's not that you forget things on purpose. It's just so much, because it's been so many years. So for him to mention, again, of course, Chi-Town T is, when we talked to Willie last week, Chi-Town T is from Windy City.
Yep.
I
did train at Windy City for 2 weekends, because Windy City, when it was still around, was going to do stuff with Chi-Town and all that. So we got to go to the gym, south side. I don't remember what city.
The studio.
The studio.
And that time it should have been
Chicago Heights
on 100, and I can't think of the street, but it was the warehouse, right?
Right, the warehouse where they had the ring. And then I met Sam DeCero there, and I did not get chopped by him. Other people did. I was smart enough to hide behind other people. So I did train for Windy City for a little bit, not even a cup of coffee. But unfortunately, everything would happen with that. So I was this close. I was gonna perform with them.
But then you turn around, and then so we had Jazz on Wednesday, and Steve found out that me and Jazz went to the same high school.
Oh,
Well, not only did me and TL go to the same high school, we graduated together.
nice.
Uh, Along with someone you guys might have heard or not. He calls himself the Original Rage, um, the owner of LOW. So all of us graduated together. Ooh,
What'd you
Steve, your
gonna
head
do?
still hurt? So,
It hurts a little bit. We'll get into that later.
so it's just crazy how you're tied together without knowing that you're tied together.
You know,
You know,
forget this what is that the Kevin Bacon game, the 7
6
separation
degrees of separation. Yeah.
yeah. I mean, even Willie's former valet. Um, I don't know if she went to CBS or not, but there were a few. You know, Crystal White again, Crystal White, Atlas Horn, um, me, Rage, TL, Lord Cassius, Jazz. Yeah, I think that's it. But I mean, all of us came out of the same high school, and it's crazy that then we all get into this crazy business. But when I remember Joey, it's funny how something sticks for years and you don't know it. And Joey doesn't know
Oh,
that he inspired that longevity when it came to the Soul Touches and the ARC, because this means something. And it might not mean a lot to a lot of people, and some people might even laugh at it. But before King Booker,
yeah.
Joey and the Hollywood icons were doing this. And I couldn't understand what the hell this meant. But here's a funny story, Steve. You love stories.
I do. That's why we do this.
So I
Where's it
can't tell you where we did this show. It was somewhere in Indiana. And I was booked. They were doing shows every month. So I was at least booked for 3 months straight. And so the first time I show up, I only knew a few people. And the icons are there, and it's about 5 of them.
At
Okay.
that time, yeah, we had a low turnout of icons that day.
Oh, hold on. So then the second month, right? You show up. Now the numbers double. Next show, it's about 10 icons. And you're like, what the hell? Like, is the whole roster an icon? Like, what? And, you know, like I'm feeling left out. Like, do I need a shirt? Should I become an icon?
It's the way it was at CTW with the ARC. There were like 9 of you at one point.
Hey, you never know. But then the third month, right? And I shit you not, it had to be 15 or more of them.
Oh yeah.
And it was like, this is damn gang warfare. Like it was more icons than it was anybody else in the locker room. Like it was probably like 6 of us that weren't icons. It was so bad that when the card was announced, some of the matches had to be icon versus icon because wasn't anybody left in the damn locker room.
You know what? To quote one of the greatest comedians of all time, Robin Harris, Baby's Kids, we, the icons, we don't die, we multiply. And you know what? There's still icons all over the place. We had icon chapters down south. We had icon chapters in England. We had icon chapters on the West Coast, the East Coast, all over the place. We were a pretty damn good team, man. We multiplied everywhere, man.
But I mean, I loved it because I was like, well, if you're gonna take over a damn company, that's what you do.
Is that what you?
So hey, I've done that a few times, just a few.
Just a few.
But again, I was inspired by Joey. And again, I don't care what, we're in a business. I heard this today on Busted Open. I don't know if anybody else listens. And a fan called in and said that they only spoke negative about Monday Night Raw. And then I was driving home and I thought about this as far as especially our interview tonight, especially when it comes to people like Joey. Joey is out there to do a job. Joey isn't out there to be liked. He isn't out there for you to kiss his. He doesn't care. Joey says what Joey feels, and 9 times out of 10, people hate him for it. Right?
I'm trying for that 10th one. I'm trying for that damn 10th one. I'm gonna get him.
But everybody in this industry, instead of people looking at Joey and saying he does his job and he does it well, instead of people saying that, it's all the other naysayers. And it's like, why? Because he's doing what you can't do? Is it because that, guess what? If a promoter really wants to get the crowd pissed off at a heel, you call in Joey Roth. There's Joey. I have seen Joey piss off 1-year-olds while they're sitting in their mama's laps.
Yep.
Like, how do you do that? Like, it's a gift. So people need to really recognize Joey for who he is and what he brings to the table. Because again, what Joey and I do as far as manage, this isn't a cookie cutter business, because guess what? The talent is cookie cutter.
Yeah.
Everybody wants to look a certain way, wear their hair a certain way, do certain moves, and okay, that's fine and good. But before you, Steve, and I'm patting myself on the back. You have 2 originals, unlike anybody else. And guess what? We can verbally talk a crowd and set a damn building on fire.
No doubt.
That means a lot to me, Red. Thank you so much.
I mean, kudos to Joey from me. Joey does his job well. I think maybe at Chicagoland, it should be a little less of you, Steve, and more of him. I'm just saying, like, look at now, and I'm gonna be honest. I've been having my lawyers relook at this contract thing. Steve stirs the pot every week. Every week he stirs the pot.
I see it. I see it every week when I watch the show.
And
I don't know how. See, I only put up with him for once in a while. I put up with him every single week. I don't know if I could do something like that.
Sometimes twice a week.
Now, working with him would be even bigger pain than that.
Sometimes twice a week.
Yeah.
But here's the thing. I mean, how's that eye?
The eye hurts. The
I was gonna say, yeah.
See, because here's the thing. Like, due to unfortunate circumstances, Joey, did you see my match?
I did see your match. I had to call your match. It was the best match I had to call.
Joey, I'm old man syndrome.
I got you.
Who won that match?
The ARC won that match.
Who got the pin for that match?
I think C-Red got the pin for that match.
Oh, you don't say.
That's what that right there. First off, you had to deal with karate fighters over there, and I don't like that kung fu stuff. Okay, This is professional wrestling right here. In the
I
ARC,
agree.
they are all about professional wrestling. You also have a woman in there wrestling against guys. She should be cooking the carrots and, cleaning the stoves and whatnot. But, hey, I'm very happy for people who could actually do stuff like that, but they shouldn't be fighting something like C-Red.
Well, my thing is, but unfortunately, after that, due to forced circumstances, I had to leave. My life was threatened, so I just felt I should leave. Um, so I didn't know what happened until I looked at social media. Steve, how's that eye?
It's a little better than it was last week. It hurts. All the injuries hurt. It's not comfortable.
Holy
Hmm.
hell, you're actually good looking now.
But here's the thing. Hey Joey,
Yes, sir.
let me see. I don't see you with no black eyes.
I don't. Look, I got nice.
I don't see you with no bandages on your eyes and
No.
swelling.
I got my eyesight back.
I know, but
Just put it this way: there's nobody in Chicagoland Championship Wrestling that wants to beat me up and throw me in a trunk.
Hey, I didn't see anybody break into your house.
Right? I didn't see anything like that. I don't see people posting cryptic videos about me or anything like that. Oh, and by the way, before anybody gets in an uproar for that woman thing, it's an Andy Kaufman thing. So, I just kind of channeled him. So,
But I'm just saying. Go ahead, Steve.
yeah, go ahead. Yes, Steve, if you're okay, if you need to go lay down for a little while, since you got smacked in the noggin like that, and then you got driven away in a car in a trunk like
He got what? What happened?
You didn't see
Joey,
that?
spill it. What happened?
Well, I think we need Mr. Steve to go ahead and spill it and see what happens. See, this is what happened when he messes with the tribunal. This is what happens when he messes with Paragon. Okay, so when the show comes out on Amazon Prime Saturday night, Grapple Masters from Chicagoland Championship Wrestling on Fight TV and a whole bunch of other different kind of platforms, because that's why we're the best organization in all of the world. You're going to see that at the end of the show. Paragon came to the commentary, told me how wonderful I am, because Paragon doesn't lie, then proceeded to haul Steve out of the building and put him in the trunk where he belongs.
You don't say.
I do say, and I do see it too.
Say what?
What?
Steve,
What Steve?
It's story time. But tonight ain't story time with C-Red.
No.
Go ahead, Steve.
All right. This is Joey Roth's episode, so we'll make this pretty brief. I don't like to talk about it. I'm not proud of it.
No, see, since this is my show, it's all about me celebrating the greatness of Joey Roth and everything like that. I want to hear this story. I want you to tell it.
All right. So we're closing the show Saturday, and we're wrapping things up, and we're setting the table for the next show, which is in August. And next thing you know, I get a hand on my shoulder, and it's Paragon, and he says, "It's time for your birthday present." And I say, "I'm in the middle of something." He says, "You better get up, or I will physically remove you from commentary and embarrass you in front of everybody." So in an effort to save face, to keep John Buller's product rolling forward, I left the closeout in Joey Roth's capable hands, and I was forcibly removed from the building, where me, a commentator, was accosted by him, a wrestler, taken into the parking lot, where the rest of the tribunal was waiting for me. And that, of course, was Jace Thorne and Chris Moore were waiting for me in the parking lot. And they said, "You have a choice. You can either willingly go in the trunk, or we will force you in there." And I said, "I'm not going in the trunk." I did not win that fight. I ended up in the trunk. And then for the next 10 hours, I was beaten and roughed up and thrown around, and in the morning dumped off in my wife's flower garden, crushing her flowers. Left there in just a pile. Nice gash here, black eye, obviously, couple of cracked ribs, concussion. Wasn't great. Wasn't great. So the three kings in rows, obviously we now know without a shadow of a doubt who stalked my house. I mean, how else would they know where I live to drop me off? It's a little frightening because it's not frightening because I'm afraid of Paragon per se, but the numbers game is something that not anybody can overcome. And you just don't know who's tribunal and who isn't. You were talking about the Hollywood icons and all their numbers. I have no idea who's in the tribunal. I walk out of my house every day looking over my shoulder. Who's going after me next? I'm just a commentator. Don't know where all of this animosity, a little entertainment on the internet should be a good thing.
All right, first off, Steve, if this is you telling a short story, I hate to see what you do with a long ass story. Okay.
You asked.
Where's the raise your hand button at? Oh, I'm not at work. Whew. I'm sorry. You don't know how this happened, Steve. So once we finish talking to Joey, I need you to do me a favor.
Okay.
Please. So I want you to go back in the archives and watch the very first Paragon interview. And then I want you to watch the interview then watch the match with the Tribune. Then I want you to watch the next interview with the Tribune. And I want you to keep watching everything with the tribunal in it. And then maybe you will get a sense of how you ended up in your beautiful wife's garden. And not her secret garden either. The one where I'm sure she had to carry you out and call 911 and get your medical attention. And oh, my poor Steve. But I'm sure she didn't even do that because she knows who you are. So, woo! Thank you, Joey, for allowing that story.
I know, wasn't that great? I want another one.
Well,
it is. Oh my God.
There's more to the story, C-Red.
Okay, Steve, if you're gonna keep on saying stories, I mean, at least have some kind of like props or something. You can have like two bears fighting, like how it was. And so with something like this, you'd be wearing the dress, right? So he's stepping on you and then just dumping you in the trunk and all that stuff, right?
That's funny, and everybody thinks it's funny. Everybody thought it was funny.
It's funny.
Everybody thought it was funny. I got stuffed in the trunk. You know who's not laughing right now?
Who?
Jay Thorne.
Why?
Because Jay Thorne has been apprehended. I'm pressing charges.
Call the police. What is it with you? Oh, man.
So tribunal -1 going forward. So that's the end of that story. Let's get back to Joey Roth. Joey, I noticed that I'm bandaged up in the eye, but I also noticed that you're wearing a bit of a neck brace. I know you've had some problems.
Where? I just thought he had a turtleneck on.
No, that's a neck brace. The man has been accosted. POW, very popular entertainment company in which Joey is synonymous with. Joey, tell us about POW and how you've come to these very difficult circumstances.
Joey, yes. I am so sorry for his insensitivity. I'm sorry. Okay. If you're up to it.
What about my eye?
Only if you're up to it. Look, you caused that. Whatever. Joey,
I didn't cause that.
Joey, if you're up to it.
I think I could talk. I saw my doctor today. Dr. Boombot says I need to keep this on just a little bit longer. I didn't
have with duos.
Yes, Boombots. He's a really good doctor. I can't talk about it. He did shoot me up with a little bit of special juice for the Chicagoland shoulder, which is why I didn't have the neck brace on because of the unbridled, unprovoked, horrible onslaught that happened to me at the last POW show. at the last POW Entertainment Show in Rumpels in Twin Lakes, Wisconsin. My team, BMI, along with the Bad Hombre Cartel, were going up against IPA and Revolution, the two dinosaurs of Jimmy Blaze and Electric Eric Freedom. So what happened was I was blinded thanks to IPA the month before, because I went into the ring, had some powder in my hand, and I just wanted to make the place smell better. And next thing you know, they kicked the powder in my face, and I was blinded for a month. But my eyesight came back once the IPA, thanks to Revolution, picks me up with Craven and Meatballs O'Bannon, and they slam me into each other. And next thing you know, the 14th quadrant of the temporal lobe of the larynx subgenre cockle area, number 6,
What?
got strained. So now I'm in the neck brace. I am in the freaking neck brace.
You sustained a brain injury?
Hey, let the man talk. It's his show.
I'm trying to talk. This is my show now, Steve. Okay, I'm a little upset. I'm breaking up a little bit because you know what? This I don't need therapy because I'm too good for it. But this is pretty good because I need to talk about something because you know it doesn't make me feel really sad that somebody would go ahead and put their rubby little hand, well, not little hands, it wasn't meat hooks. He put his hooks on me and takes me and slams me into his other big partner, throws me down. I have elbow drops from Revolution, from Jimmy Blaze and Eric Freedom. They want to beat me up. Everybody's laughing at me. My eyesight comes back, thankfully, but now I got to wear this. So that is why I'm wearing this, because of IPA, but more so because of Jim Blaze and Eric Freedom, who decided to put their stinking, rubby dinosaur hands on me. Those guys are so freaking old. Jesus looks at him and goes, holy crap, you're old. I'm upset. See, now you got me a little bit upset. So now my neck is going to hurt even more. I'm going to have to go back to Dr. Boombot. I'm going to have to get my lawyer, Chris Happ, on the phone because he's going to go ahead. You know what, Steve? I think you have a lawsuit now. You really made me upset. Not you, C-Red. You have shown me and asking me if I really wanted to talk about it. You're telling me you are just everything that everybody needs to be. But Steve, you're supposed to be my partner, man. You're supposed to be my commentating partner. You're going to go ahead and make me upset? But that's okay. That's okay. That's okay.
There's no stirring.
There's no, see, you want to know why you get thrown in trunks? This is why you get thrown in trunks, is because you go ahead and you do stuff like this. So what's going to happen to the next Chicagoland Championship Wrestling? So when I'm sitting there next to you, you think I put my body on the line to try to help you when you were carried away by Paragon? Everybody,
you let me go. You said goodbye. You said,
I made sure
well.
I made sure your water was taken care of. I drank it, but it's okay. I mean, I made sure your chair. I made sure your chair was tucked in because you left the chair sitting out there being dragged out there by Paragon. That wasn't very nice. So we could have tripped. Roxy Hart could have tripped on that and bruised her her uvula, her coccyx of the brain, man. See, I don't see Steve.
See, Joey. This is why, as you stated, things happen to Steve. And again, I care about you, Joey.
I appreciate you, C-Rod. I care about you too, and all those things you said about me with a tear in my eye. I mean, it means a lot to me, and that's just something.
All I can say is I hope if you need a character witness,
I'm going to.
Not only against Steve, but
I did nothing.
Management of POW. You upset him, Steve.
You upset me.
Look at him. Look at you now, Steve. You're yelling. Why are you yelling at him?
How could you do this to me, Steve?
Steve, he is hurt.
Everything.
He is injured.
I'm hurt, man. Do you know how much it is to get hurt? Yeah, you have a little cut above your eye. You got thrown into a trunk. You have people breaking into your house. You have to look behind doors and under beds and no, not the refrigerator door. You keep on looking at that. But you have a whole bunch of people all over your house and all that. But forget about that. Look at my neck, man. Look at the injury I have to deal with here.
They could be outside my door right now. The dog's barking at something. I mean, you just don't know. Hello, Roxy.
Steve, I'm sorry. Okay, as Joey Roth's personal nurse, I'm sorry. You're upsetting him too much. This is too much right now.
Thank you, Steve. Just compose yourself, Steve. If you need to walk away for a minute, please do. We don't need to upset our guest.
Jerk.
Anyway, Joey, so with Pal,
Yes.
and you're dealing with the fat boys and the oat men.
Yes. No kidding.
Um,
Stand up, Lemon.
where are you in talks with others, or are you just gonna take this strictly to court and because the medical bills have to be enormous.
The medical bills are going to be taken care of, and that's what I'm going to. That's why I have the best lawyer in the entire world, Chris Happ, on my side. And if not, I have bodyguards. My bodyguard Piper Rego is going to fly in from England. She's going to take care of everybody. Just wait till you see, get a load of her. I got surprises too, but that's okay. I have my tag team of the Bruiser Mass Index BMI, the breathtaking Mike Idol, and the Bruiser Jamie Race. All right. That right there, I think is pretty much all I need, because you have Jim Blaze lumbering about, you have Eric Freedom coming out of the tar pits like the old dinosaur he is. BMI are going to go ahead and get their revenge for me. And once all that smoke clears, once BMI are standing on top of the POW Entertainment Mountain, once again, the POW Tag Team Champions, which were stolen from us from IPA, we're going to go ahead and we're going to take POW to court. And next thing you know, POW Entertainment, they're going to name it Roth Entertainment. I'm going to be in charge. I'm going to take it over. You're here to hear. I'm going to be the man in charge. And you know what? I do need somebody with me for something like that. And who else but C-Red right there? I could put C-Red and the ARC in charge of everything. They're going to be the ones who are going to be busting skulls, taking names, doing all that stuff.
There goes the neighborhood.
There it goes. There it all goes. It's gonna be a fun time. And you know what, Steve? You're gonna be named in that lawsuit. Pow's gonna be in that lawsuit. Everybody's gonna be named in that damn lawsuit.
Why am I in the lawsuit?
You get me all riled up and everything like that.
See,
How dare you,
Steve, and then you have the audacity to laugh in his face.
I'm not laughing. I'm just trying to figure it out.
You're trying to poke me, man.
All right. So we all were at Chicagoland Championship Wrestling Grapple Masters. Some of us had great nights like C-Red. Some of us had bad nights like me. Overall, speaking as people that have been in this business a long time, I was pretty impressed with the quality of entertainment that went on that night. I thought it was going to be hard to recapture the magic of October 3rd because it was such a special night. I was not expecting it to be better than October. What say you about that, Joey?
Once you start off the way we started off with the show in October, yeah, we Chicagoland Championship Wrestling set the bar pretty high, and I had absolutely no worries whatsoever to know that we were going to take that bar, throw it down, and raise it even higher. Every single show that Chicagoland Championship Wrestling is going to have, I don't like saying CCW because that cheapens it. All right, the Chicagoland Championship Wrestling. Every single show we're going to have is going to be that much better. It's going to be that much better than theirs. It's going to be that much better than them. It's going to be that much better than anyone. We're that much better than all of it. And if we can have a show the ARC and C-Red, they need to be at the end of the show, because if they come out in the beginning of the show, you can only go downhill from there. So that's why I think ARC should be main eventing everything, which they soon will be. But that's what I think about Chicagoland Championship. I wasn't worried about it. I knew we were going to be great. I knew I was going to be fabulous. I knew Steve was going to be all right. I know C-Red was going to be the greatest thing ever. I mean, come on. there is no worry whatsoever when it comes to me and thinking about Chicagoland Championship Wrestling. You think October was great. You think June was great. Just wait till August. Just wait till August. It's not an 8-month wait. We're coming. We're going to be hitting you hard. We're going to be hitting you fast. And we'll be just doing the greatest thing we always do. And that's just be Chicagoland Championship Wrestling.
Well, I mean, August is going to be on fire. Marche and Bryce Benjamin bringing the GAW tag titles.
From Guerrero Azteca Wrestling, Aztec Warrior. I mean, come on, you can't get any more monumental than something like that. The very first time on U.S. soil, these title belts are going to be defended. It's going to be a Chicagoland Championship Wrestling at Saturday Night Grapple Masters 3, and it's going to be on Amazon. It's going to be all over the place. This is something that, yeah, when you see wrestling shows, like, oh, you know, I couldn't make it. I couldn't see it, but you could see the pictures or something like this. This is a show that you could watch every single freaking day over and over and over again. It's like go to the video store and getting that videotape, just putting it in there and watching it until the tape breaks. That's the best thing about Amazon Prime. It's the best thing about streaming features. It's the tape. It's not going to break. It's always going to be there. We now live forever. We're going to be there 100 years from now. Amazon Prime's still going to be there. You're going to see Chicagoland Championship Wrestling with me, C-Red, and maybe you too, Steve. But that, yeah, it's just unbelievable what you get when you come to one of our shows. It is just, that is why we are that much. Right
there.
All right.
Michigan City Street Fight.
Yes. Michigan
What about it?
Street Fight.
What about it?
What is it?
What you asking us?
I don't know. Just you know, you're kind of involved in it. So maybe you
first of all, here's an issue I do have with John Bullard.
You would be the only one that has an issue with John Bullard.
And your point.
I'm just saying, not many people do.
Again.
Well, so I have a problem with his choice of one commentator. But
there's good and there's bad. So, since you want to start off with the bad, I don't appreciate that the fact that they lost. They lost. Suck it up. You lost. You lost to me. Keep going. But no. Poe Boba Fett.
It's brave.
Oh, I lost. He goes crying to John Bullard. And John Bullard comes out and decides Michigan City. First of all, Michigan City, they ain't got nothing in it. So what's the Michigan City street fight?
I can tell you what, you know what, I know what a Michigan City street fight is that when all the women in Michigan City go to the Dollar General and fight over the last pregnancy test. That's the last Michigan City street fight you ever see. So,
okay.
Yeah.
Well,
so hopefully it's not as horrific and severe as something like that, because I tell you, women can really fight.
Well, all I know is, and I've tried to explain this to Steve.
Again, you got to use
Steve. Oh, maybe I need to.
I'm sorry, I'm such a burden on this show.
The problem is Steve does not grasp the concept, Joey.
I hear you.
That the ARC, born and raised on the South Side. See, we don't live in the suburbs like Steve with the nice little picket fence and the little chihuahua and, you know, oh, the kids running up and down the streets right now. No. We're every night when you turn on that news and you hear about the horrific things that happen in Chicago, guess who's in the middle of it? We are. Not by nature, not by choice. It's just life on the South Side of Chicago. Am I proud of it? No, but it is what it is. It's real.
And it's something that needs to be done too.
So do you think with bullets flying every night, Steve, we're worried about a street fight. A street fight. See, street fight, Steve, is something that I did growing up. I'm older. We don't fight. So Braven can come, bring his little Party City mask, his little Amazon Prime eyeballs that he bought for $9.99 because they on sale because it's Prime Week. So he done bought like 50 pair. The ugliest mustache in the world.
Well,
And
Don't look
bring
at
it.
the mustache. Don't look at that mustache, Joey Roth.
I'm
Tru-
looking.
Trust me, there's not much to look at. So we're not worried about a Michigan City street fight. Now,
What- all
on to
I gotta say is they want to fight, they're gonna get a fight, and they're gonna be.
well, it's only
really
one,
good.
only one with at least Janai and Yo-Yo did tuck their tails, ran off, and did what they were supposed to do. They took the L. But Braven. Now, anyway, to the good. You talked about how do we top October
And June.
in June? No, but you said how did we top October second show? I didn't know if we were. I didn't. Then something happened, and all three of us kind of, without knowing we were doing it, we all did it. We all scratched our heads when 7 o'clock came. Nobody was out in front of the crowd. 7:05. Nobody's in the ring. I don't know about you. I got work. And the crazy part is somebody even took a picture. But I walked up to John Bullard because I want to make sure that all of my planning was not going to be wasted. But I asked him, and he was waiting on the fans. There were fans there, and it was a good number. But he knew that there were fans traveling through Chicago. And unbeknownst to any of us, there was a storm apparently.
Oh, but trust me, Roxy Hart and I were stuck in that storm where it was raining buckets all down I-55 until 90, the Skyway and everything like that. It didn't clear until you got over that really big bridge at the Skyway on 94 before you get to like Indiana. So the weather did not count. It took us 3 hours to get from where we were to the show. The rain was unbelievably heavy. But even that, I knew we were going to be good because it's Chicagoland Championship Wrestling.
Well, again, for me, the crazy part was I was doing another show. So had no clue about the rain. None whatsoever. I was already on the road. So again, wondering this storm. But that shows what kind of man he is, that he wasn't, he wanted to make sure fans did not miss any action. And that says a lot. Most promoters are like, hey, we got to start because we got to be out of here at a certain time. We can't wait for no hell. I've seen people not wait for talent.
Yeah.
So he waited for the fans. So that says a lot. So wrestling wise, I mean, when you looked at the card was stacked second to none. So it was on us to perform.
But once
He
that first,
he
but once that first bell rings, everybody knows exactly what they're supposed to do and exactly how everything is going to be, because there's
Yeah,
nothing
but you know
better
what
than
the scary part is, Joey? You wonder, is it, you know, is the first match going to take it seriously? You know what I'm saying? Are they going to take it seriously, and is the show going to build? I Steve knows. He used to work for a company, and I worked for a company for a period of time. And this was their big show. Matter of fact, it was the first time Steve ever got to see the Soul Touchers live.
It was amazing.
time.
So when we go out, and we were match 3, and it was a decent crowd, very nice crowd, right? But you know, we did our match, and then match 4 was like, I think, a 4-way tag team title ladder match or whatever. It was crazy. But by that time, I had changed clothes, and then intermission hit, and I went and stood outside and was talking to fans, talking to friends, talking to family, and I noticed how some of the fans, a lot of the fans, walked in or walked out of intermission, went to the gimmick table, had whichever or all 3 superstars that were there that night, get their autograph, take a picture with it, and then they walked out the door. Only 4 matches, got what they wanted, and walked out the door. So then when match 5 and we come back from intermission, I look and I'm like, wow, completely different crowd. And at that point, I was like, okay, this is bananas. You wonder, or I should say, I wonder, will I ever see that again? Because that's as a performer, that's a hurtful feeling. That you know you can start in front of 300-400 people. The show starts, and by the time you go out to perform,
75 people remain.
right, like nobody's in the front row.
Yeah,
The front row is, it's bad when the front row is empty.
it is not good. Not a great feeling.
So I was I'm always nervous. So we've got June, well, we just had June. So we've got August coming up. Michigan City Street Fight. What other matches have been announced? Any?
Well, just Marche and Bryce versus Youth Gone Wild.
Right.
Those are the only
Well, we know for the tag titles to be defended here for the first time.
That's right.
CHW.
So I'm sure within the next few weeks, if not sooner, John Bullock will start dropping matches. And the scary part,
there is one other match. Don't forget the challenge that was laid down by Vic Capri.
Oh, yeah,
Oh,
versus Capri. How do you forget
How-
that? That started.
just got
That was hot as
goosebumps.
hell.
I got goosebumps just saying that, because we all know the Ice Pick Vic Capri is one of the greatest workers that has ever come out of this area.
Ever.
And Garrison Creed, he's kind of an up and comer. He's been around he's been traveling all over the place. He's still trying to make his mark
Top
in this
shelf
beautiful sport. And in August, when those 2 guys fight, you want to see action. You want to see brutality. Just wait.
no, it's not what you want to see. That's what you're going to see, Joey.
If you're gonna see the intensity they had, just yelling and screaming at each other, nose to nose in the middle of that ring. I'm surprised they didn't beat each other up right then and there.
And so here's what I'm wondering. And I'm not trying to rub salt into Steve's wound, even though I really don't care.
Yeah.
I witnessed what the tribunal did to No Coast. I mean, I witnessed it. So I'm wondering what is next.
Steve and I got
Like,
a ringside seat to that amazing beatdown that No Coast got.
They
That No Coast
damn
deserved.
right.
No Coast. No, come on. No Coast runs around with their pants halfway off their butts. They look like they haven't showered in 3 years. They run around. They want to do all these cutesy little things. Or the cutesy little things caught up to them when the tribunal go ahead and just totally left them beaten, battered, and bruised like my BMI guys, and left them bloodied in the middle of the ring. You want to talk about something amazing. That was amazing because No Coast deserved, and they got what they deserved. And if they want to keep on sticking their noses in other people's business like that, just wait till you see what's going to happen to them in August.
and then here's the last point, because I know Steve wants me to pick SCW. CSW Fallout. Anyway, who's next for the champ? Like, who's gonna be man enough to stand up? That
Well,
locker room is packed.
Chris Logan?
Yeah, the locker room is packed.
A lot of
And
people want that gold.
I mean, think about it. Not only do they want the gold, but I think they want to be the one to take it off the Shogun. They don't want somebody from outside taking it off of them. They want to be the one to say, I'm here in this locker room. His target is what I'm shooting at. And guess what? I put him down.
So earlier you talked about the Hollywood Icons having so many people in the stable. I think Mr. Steve there is part of something that have a lot of people as well, a certain kind of a connection that goes through Chicago. And I know there's one guy who's also sporting one of these, Mr. 3%, Jonathan Hudson, who has his eyes on the prize. And that man, Chris Logan, he better have his head on a swivel, because from what I understand, I have minions all over too, Steve, and I know people. John Hudson is this close to coming back.
He is indeed.
So
Hey.
Chris Logan better watch out, because that's one guy right there who already laid the gauntlet down twice.
Hey, Joey.
Yeah.
Joey.
Yeah.
You say he part of a group.
That's what I heard.
Hey, where was that group when he was getting his ass kicked?
I think that group was nowhere around.
Oh, okay.
So Steve, yeah, what happened, man?
That was between us. That wasn't.
But where were the other cavity creeps? I have no idea.
The connection will respond, but
If it's something that P.L. Myers is going to say, just make sure he's not like you when he tells his short stories. They go on and on and on and on and on. Well,
okay.
Make sure the kingpin is up. I'm just saying. Sell the interview and like, how are you not? Like, I understood it was past his bedtime. The nursing home was calling. So.
You shouldn't disrespect the connection, C-Red.
When I'm in a fight, my guys help me. Who helped you? Okay. So anyway, come on with these little picks. I want Joey to pick too, because you can't.
I'll pick two. Okay, go ahead and spot it out this.
Because I don't want you to put this all on me, especially. First of all, Joey, if you do not know,
yes,
Steve is not only a sometimes commentator.
No.
He is a horrible general manager.
That's what I hear.
If you think, first of all, he talks trash and can't back it up. Look at the eye. Don't put the glasses on. So he's horrible. because he
Oh,
talks trash.
I watch everything that goes on, and yeah, and I see, and I have people in the
Then
locker room who tell me these things. I get
John Bullard
all the
had
time.
to bring you in
Yeah,
first, only after Steve begged him for this job,
exactly.
and then realized
That's all the
that
messages.
he was like, "Oh my God, he really can't commentate." But if I bring Joey in, Joey can cover up his mistakes. And, maybe Joey can teach him a thing or two, which in 2 shows clearly hasn't happened
Well,
because he doesn't want to learn. But I bet he does now.
Red, you know how it goes when you have to when some minds are just so closed up that you can't teach them new things. Someone like you knows how something like that goes. And Steve's mind is so freaking closed that there's no light going in there. There's nothing going on in there. So I just don't know how I could drag it out of him. But if anybody can, I've got the brains, and I know I could do it. So Steve,
Did you see what you did there, Joey? You said drag it out of him. He
got dragged out. Just like he got dragged out and put in a truck out. Orders.
Okay,
So
go ahead.
This
Go ahead,
Saturday afternoon in Lake in the Hills, CSW proudly presents Fallout. And yes, I am general manager of CSW. Proudly.
And
We've got
Suckley.
a great show that is going to be very entertaining. And when we have shows, I always like the vet C Red to give me his input on the matches that have been made. And it'll be great to have Joey's opinion as well. Know all of these athletes. So it'll be great to hear what you have to say. One of the matches that I'm looking forward to the most is Vic Capri taking on the most dope CJ Esparza, one half of the Dope Kings. That's going to be a very engaging match.
So can I ask a question?
Yes.
Why do you allow drug trafficking at your shows?
Not dope as in drugs, dope as in dope, man.
As in dumb?
No, as in
they're dopes.
It's the 90s.
CJ Esparza is one of the finest workers in this business right now.
First of all, I know who it is. I know who he is. But let's be honest. You just said it, Vic Capri.
Once you say that name,
ain't none of that flying and flippity shit that I can't stand gonna happen once Vic gets his hands on him. Soon as this is the match, ding ding. Vic goes for a lockup, and that's it. He ain't never letting go. He gonna pummel that boy.
Vic is on another level when it comes to professional wrestlers. So the dope is gonna get smoked in more ways than one, I'm sure, during that show. Like that one, huh? A Vic Capri all the way, baby.
The dope is gonna get smoked.
Yep.
Because of our discussion last week, and because of some of the things that were revealed, I decided to make a little title match. The Filth King, Nick Brubaker, will put his CSW title on the line against C Red's good friend Acid Jazz.
Hold on. First of all, the way Jazz disrespected me last week, I'm still hurt. But you talked about maybe Marche and Jazz too. What happened?
Well,
I mean, how did he go from everything that happened to now you awarding a title shot?
Well, Acid Jazz, the teacher that he is, taught me a thing or two. And I replayed last week's episode, and I thought it would be a solid opportunity to present. And I think the fans will dig the match. So he taught me a thing or two. I listened to.
So let's see. Acid Jazz, the Filth King. Acid Jazz or the Filth King. Acid Jazz. Well, only because I was disrespected by Acid Jazz am I going to pick the Filth King. See, you don't see Joey ranting and raving, talking about how it's his show. No, he's our guest
Yeah.
and he's respectful. Jazz was disrespectful, even to the point he flipped off the camera, left, and disrespectful. So
That is very disrespectful.
so I'm picking and not by much, but because the Filth King, like that sounds like a 70s porno movie, but
So
I'm picking Brew. Picking Brew.
so acid jazz taught you a lot of stuff there, Steve, right? You were saying?
Yes.
Except for how to get out of a trunk and how to have people not break into your house and everything like that. That should be like the first thing somebody teaches you. So yeah, I'm not going with that. I'm with Seared.
Moving on. You asked about Marche Rocket. Marche Rocket is going to be fighting the host of the beauty parlor and one of the hottest up and coming talents in this business, the beautiful one, Ryan Matthews.
Marche. I don't.
Okay.
All right, like you're making me miss him again, Steve. Every Tuesday you make me miss Marche. And then you wonder why our relationship. And then you wonder why our relationship is straight.
That's what you get. You know what, Steve? I mean, do you do this to everybody?
Yes.
Team. So it would seem.
Everybody. My gosh.
Moving right along in a very special match, a man you both met this past Saturday, well, 2 Saturdays ago, Mateo Valentine, the Fat Asian, the Queen,
who?
The Fat Femme Asian.
No, the reason why I say because you said a man we met.
Mateo Valentine will be taking on Heather Reckless in what should be a very interesting match in Lake in the Hills.
Interesting. And what's the young lady's name again? I mean, the second young lady's name again?
Heather Reckless.
I pick her.
I gotta tell you, I might have to go against C-Red on this one. I might have to go with Mateo because, you know, I saw him at the last Chicagoland Championship Wrestling show and he was floating around. I mean, he was walking around all over the place and everything. And I think he might have a few tricks up his pantyhose.
But see, that's the problem I have. Understand, Joey, I walk into the building.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
And as soon as I walk in and I walk up the stairs, I see pantyhose. I see a skirt. And I'm like, who is this? And he turns around. Hello, C-Red. Oh, you know what? Not tonight. I got ARC business to deal with. Get away from me. So I'm picking the other chick. And I don't even know her. I would pick you, Steve, over you. Yeah. No, I wouldn't. No, I wouldn't.
Mateo is very talented, and it should be a great match. Also,
now, how do you know that, Steve?
How do I know what?
Joey, he said he's talented.
Well, now.
I do commentary.
Maybe we should talk about some other things there, Steve. Do you like movies about gladiators?
Moving on. Axel Rico, one of my favorites, will be taking on Jake from wrestling in the Metro Division Championship.
Ain't this where it calls and you got your glasses broke and your head busted in last time? See what I'm saying, Joey? Everywhere he goes, he gets assaulted.
That makes the neck pain better to hear all this kind of stuff.
All I'm saying, ladies and gentlemen, for all of you that are watching on the Genre Network and here on YouTube or wherever you're watching this on Facebook, wherever, I want you to understand something. You always think that I'm bashing Steve. But ladies and gentlemen, let me sit up. I was taught this. If it looks like a duck, it acts like a duck, and quacks like a duck, It's a duck, baby. So guess what? Everywhere Steve goes, he gets assaulted. Now, can it be all these people's fault? Let's look real quickly. Last Man Talking, assaulted. CSW, assaulted. Chicagoland Championship Wrestling, assaulted. Ladies and gentlemen, what do all of these things have in common? Steve. That's our lesson for the day, boys and girls. I hope you are privileged. Thank you. This is a message from Uncle Red.
Steve,
Now,
Steve, you are the duck of pro wrestling.
Fantastic. Went from fish sticks to a duck. Terrific.
I like
Sitting
I
next
like
to you in
Jake.
commentary, you always have a duck in your pants because that's what keeps on hearing some quacking or something.
I've beat Jake from wrestling. I still hold a win over him. I will forever hold that in my heart. But he's been your champ for a minute, ain't he?
Well, when Marco Anthony didn't steal the belt,
I'm not talking about that.
He's been
dude.
champ for quite a while.
I mean, I'm not gonna lie. I do like what's his name? Axel.
Axel.
Rose?
I have heard him making noise on the Chicago scene, but I don't think he can out wrestle Jake. I just don't.
Jake has wrestling in his name, so that's why I'm going with Jake as well.
See?
And the last match we'll talk about tonight, before we let everybody go, is the Bruise Brothers versus CNC Destruction.
Well, you already know who I'm going with. You already know who I'm going with. CNC Music Factory. Good vibrations. Oh no, seriously, CNC though. Still, what is Steve Boz like?
Did you really just do that? Did you really just sing Marky Mark and pretend to be the CNC Music Factory?
Hey, whatever song they had out back in the 80s, I don't remember. I told you I'm old. Well, I'm old. I'm old. I wrestle. Do you? Anyway, speaking of old, ain't Steve Boz like 89? Like getting ready to celebrate his 89th birthday or something like that?
Fantastic shape and one half of the tag team champions.
That's only because Steve likes Steve. So
all right.
Here's a little hidden thing that you didn't know, Joey. So when we had Steele on here with his then girlfriend, now fiance, Steve kept like hitting on her.
Wow.
What?
Okay. Is that what you do? So now
absolutely
more trouble
ridiculous.
So if anything,
that isn't. So that's not necessary.
I mean, talent wise, I mean, again, Joey, here let's look at CNC. Why not? Here are two great workers.
Not bad.
And Steve turned on both of them. Well, one he couldn't stand, and he treated like dog crap. But he's such a great GM. Shouldn't you make your whole locker room happy?
Abuse of power, right?
But then here's what he did, Joey.
What did he do, C-Red?
He turned around and got a protege and just knew he would take care of Chris Miller.
Was it Mateo?
Only to have said protege turn on him and assault him. So, who do you think I'm going with, boys and girls? If it's gonna piss Steve off, I'm going with CNC.
CNC Music Factory for the win. Oh, Steve, abuse of power. These are things that we all know already. So what do you have to say for all this stuff? I know this is all about, talking to me and everything like that, but I got to ask you a question. How do you get off doing so? And they say me and C-Red are bad guys. Okay? A bunch of people are online saying a whole bunch of things about us. How come nobody's sitting online saying things about you, Steve? What is this stuff that you're doing? Why does everybody turn on you? And when am I gonna do it?
I guess we'll have to wait and see. I want to thank Joey Roth for being our guest tonight. He is spectacular as always. I want to thank.
Hold on, both of them. Put them both on, Joey. There you go.
Oh, don't forget, I also am undefeated in boxing. So any of you people out there want to go for one of these, 905 days, you could go ahead and fight me there. You want to box me? We could do that right there. You want this title belt? I have it all. Everybody wants to say I'm a mark for myself. Everybody wants to say, oh my God, he's taking these belts everywhere he goes. Wouldn't you if you were as great as I was? They say you cannot march to the beat of your own drum. Who better knows the tune than I do? That is why I am who I am. That's why people hate me. That's why I love when they hate me. C-Red doesn't hate me because, he's a good guy. He's smart.
You know why I don't hate you? Because you just showed 3 belts, right?
Right.
And I'm shooting right now. And I pray to God that the person is watching this. But Joey Roth can back that shit up.
I can back this stuff.
You don't fucking walk around and trash other people's wrestling fans because you think you hot shit because you carrying around the damn title. So let me explain something to you, youngster. If you ever disrespect any of my friends, I don't give a fuck. I will show up and I will stretch the shit out of you. You will not disrespect people in this damn business that, guess what? They're trying to have fun. They're trying to entertain people. But because you think you hot shit, boy, you ain't. Even Steve has learned more and forgotten than you will. Exactly. So don't ever come for me or mine. Because if you do, and this ain't no ARC, this ain't no soul toucher, this is one-on-one. I will fuck you up.
There you go.
Well, on that note, we will close out this edition of the Power Hour. Thank you, Joey Roth. You're magic as always. Thank you, C-Red. You are iconic as always. Join us next week when we pay homage to the people that need homage paid to them. I am bringing in 3 of the best video photography and camera people in this business.
We gotta act nice next week.
You're going to get Xavier Camacho. You're going to get Derek Dante. And you're going to get Nick Camera Guy Gimmick. You're going to get 3 of the biggest and the best at what they do in this business. And we are going to sing their praises because without them, there would be no Amazon Prime. There would be no Fight TV, and there would be no awesome promo pictures. Warrior Wrestling wouldn't know what to do. These are the guys that need the accolades, and we are going to give it to them next week on the Power Hour.
Hold on. Is this the first time, and I'm being dead serious, is this the first time anybody's ever interviewed the camera crew?
I don't know if this is, I don't know if this is the first time, but after watching Xavier run around at Grapple Masters, and then every month that I do CSW, watching Derek and Nick run around taking pictures, and then I see them at Warrior, I see them everywhere. And they're really hard workers, and they really do spectacular work. And I really feel like they don't get enough press. So we're going to bring them on here. We're going to talk to them about their craft, and we're going to try to get in a little bit of information about what it takes to do that very difficult job. How do you know where to be and when to be? We're going to find out next week.
Are they taking my picture?
What now?
Are they going to take my picture?
They might take your picture.
Damn.
Unsung heroes definitely takes a lot of people to put a wrestling show together, and the people that you don't see, or the people that you try not to pay attention to. I think Steve, I think both of you hit it on the head, but the people that don't get credit, and these guys should, and not just these guys, but anybody that goes out and films and shoots. You know the best thing is for people who do all the shooting and picture taking and whatnot, they get to take pictures and shoot video of us. You and me see that.
I know, right?
That right there is the best book in the whole entire job. Of course, with every job, you got the not so happy things. So anybody's got to point the camera at Steve. he'll probably beat them up too. He'll probably do something to piss those guys off. And you're gonna have a whole bunch of people break into your house. And how many trunks are you gonna be shoved into this year? I think we should have a tally. I think you guys need like one of those little ding, ding, how many trunks he's been in. So far it's one. I'm thinking the next one's probably gonna be two. And then see what happens in about 6 or 7 months. I mean,
I just want to know, like, I'm trying to get close to his wife, Joey, because clearly he's not gonna make it to 2022.
well,
And,
I don't think it's gonna be that difficult since everybody's going to his house.
the life. So I figure we can after he meets his fatal ending, we don't even have to bury him. Like, we don't have to put him in a casket. Just throw him in the ground, roll him in the ground.
Now we're just gonna roll him out of the streets of Michigan City. I don't think anybody's gonna notice.
Probably not. And then we're just take that insurance check and go live happily ever after.
Well, insurance check. Oh.
On that note,
The problem
we
is
bid you
insurance
a
check can
very
be written
fond
crayon.
farewell from the Power Hour. We will see you next week. Good night, everybody.
Hold on, Joey. We'll see them next week, Joey. Look.
Oh,